Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Stoverload Music Podcast Showcase. Been a little while since we had one out, but I like to bring you guys really cool stuff. So I like to take my time and I like to really enjoy what I do because I don't want to just give you anything. I want something that you're going to appreciate and something you'll take to. And today is not an exception because one of my guests today, if you've been following our show, and you've been listening to our rock blocks from last month, our weekly show with the UK on Good Music Radio, you might have noticed this artist by the name of Alex Thorn. He's had a lot of badass singles, and he's batting 3 for 3 right now with Love Lost, Let Me In, and Shadows of the Night. And he has a new one coming out pretty soon called Hungry Eyes. And he's on a roll, and he's on a hot track right now. And I'm really happy to have him because we get to have a little bit of an in-depth story and a little bit of a personal talk with him about these songs and what they mean to him. So I want you to welcome my guest and longtime friend, Alex Thorn, to the show. Alex, welcome back.
Man, what a pleasure. It's been a while. It's been like 2 years or more since I've been on the show with you. So thank you for having me. I'm honored.
It's good to have you. I mean, you've obviously been a man of many talents throughout the years, and now you're pursuing this musical journey of yours. It, the feedback you're getting and the reception you're getting, it's got to be pretty amazing, huh?
It is to finally have, I mean, I've been a musician for a long, long time, but to finally have the thoughts and the melodies that you have in your head and you put on paper actually be developed to audio the way it should be, amazing. And I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from everybody. They're always impressed by the musicianship and it's just everything about my music. So I'm like, it makes me feel good inside.
And as well as it should, because you're technically a one-man band, so to speak, because you don't have a band. You do all this yourself. And how is that working out for you? I mean, is that something you want to continue doing, or do you eventually want to expand?
It's very freeing, right? Because if you're doing everything yourself, because there's a ton of everybody can record at home now. There's a ton of bedroom musicians such as myself now, and you get to put the what you want with no compromise into your music. But at the very same time, like for me, sometimes I hear something that I can't actually do guitar wise. So it would be nice to have a kick-ass guitarist who can do what I'm hearing. So for those moments, I do wish I had, another guitarist with me or something like that. But, that'll develop once we start going live and actually rehearsals pick up this coming week for, my first live show. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to be honest, man, the first time I heard Let Me In, I was really taken back and blown away because this wasn't like a garage band type song. It didn't have that feel, that sound, nothing. I mean, this was like top of the line grade A music, and that was your first track. So did you set the bar pretty high for yourself with that first track?
I think so, yeah, because that first track, Let Me In is so funny. It's an anomaly to me because everything that followed, it happened because it was supposed to be a song. Shadows of the Night came about in about a week total. I wrote it in one day, and I think I wrote Shadows of the Night in 30 minutes, and boom, it was done by the end of the week. Total Love Lost was created to be a song. Let Me In was never supposed to be a song. Let Me In was me messing around with the new software and the new toys that I have, and just putting a basic beat and then throwing some rhythm on top of it just so I could figure out the program. And when I sent that out to friends, they were like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to hear the whole song." I'm like, "What song? What song are you talking about?" They're like, "The song you sent me." I'm like, "That's not a song." But the more I got around to it, it just built upon itself, and it just became this powerhouse. I think it was a great way to debut. But man, is it hard to follow that one up.
Yeah, I mean, you really surprised yourself and you surprised everyone else too with it.
Yeah.
Then you went on, then you released Shadows of the Night, which is really cool. And for all you listeners out there, that is not a Pat Benatar cover song. This is an original.
Shadows was really inspired by, I was watching, in fact, my man, you sent it to me, Fright Night on VHS. I was watching that and I was like, man, I don't know about enough vampire songs and the lusting that it says. I'm sure they're out there, but I don't know about them. So I figured I'd make my own. And that's how Shadows of the Night was born. It's just, that vampire that's lusting after his prey.
Yeah. I mean, it's It's amazing with your unique capability of talent and creativity, how you could take one song like Let Me In, then you jump into Shadows of the Night, and you're taking such a big turn with every song. You're not staying comfortable in your music. And that's what I love about what you're doing. Every song is very, very unique in its own right.
I think it comes down to me having a varied background of listening to music. I mean, yes, I'm obviously a rock and roller and have been for many, many years, but I grew up in a household where everything was played. Um, that's one thing I got to thank my mother for, is that she did play everything from R&B to Hispanic music to contemporary rock, hard rock, hip hop. There was a whole bunch of influences. So for me, like, yeah, Let Me In was a little bit more modern. Shadows of the Night kind of followed more of that 80s horror movie soundtrack sound. Love Lost is another kind of segue of rock, that softer rock that came in the later 80s. And Hungry Eyes, that's got a little Motley Crue move into it too. So
You mentioned earlier that one of the influences and one of the things you heard a lot of was like rap and hip hop. Is Alex Thorn going to cut a freestyle sometime soon?
oh no. But I would love to show up in a rap song. They gave me a nice little 15, 20-second cameo. I think the dynamic, the duality of that rap image that those artists have, and then the rock and roll image, I think that'll help a lot, because I'm going to be honest with you. As much rap rock as we've seen, I almost feel like every single time there's a rap rock thing, the rocker is kind of toned down. He's trying to be more cool into that world. But what if you don't try to be that cool? What if you try to be heavy metal for your cameo? I think
Right.
it'll work out.
Definitely interesting. It's not that often we get to see a lot of that, but when it does happen, it does tend to be pretty big.
Right.
Now, something I was thinking about, and a question I got for you, for an independent artist like yourself, and everybody wants to make sure they have content. They want to make sure they have a lot out there for the fans and listeners to enjoy. And when it comes to music videos, I'm noticing a lot of artists are starting with lyric videos and not actually filming an actual music videos. Where do you stand on that? Are you more for the lyric starting out, or do you think an actual music video should be the way to start out?
I think we all wish we could do music videos, like full blown. And we all have the ability to, right? We all have these amazing phones in our pockets. And me and you have had those conversations in the past that, we have everything there for us. But it's really tough to get the right vibe for that song. I mean, you can't just point a camera at somebody and say, go, and if it's your song. So when it comes to lyric videos, it's an easier way for artists to, bring more attention to their songs and have something on YouTube and Bevel and all these other platforms, to point you to the song. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think lyric videos are born out of the fact that you can't do a music video. And that's why you do a lyric video. But sometimes they work in tandem. Sometimes they, release both at the same time. And hell, I'll be honest, back in the day, I wish we had lyric videos too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, a lyric video would have been a lot nicer instead of trying to read those tiny little inserts that came in a cassette tape.
Yeah.
You remember the struggle of those?
I do, man. It's still tough with vision getting blurrier and blurrier and worse because we're holding phones like this close to our face. To open up a CD packet, you're still like, what is this? So you're trying to read that too. But the lyric videos are really cool because, you got to remember, for years, decades, I would say, a lot of us misunderstood what some of our favorite songs were saying. We didn't even pronounce the words right. We didn't know what they were saying. So in tandem with the music video release, it would have been cool to also have the lyric video.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the music you're making and the hits that you're letting out, it makes people want to hear it more, and it makes them want to sing along. So I think the lyric video really helps out with getting people to really know it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. One thing, you were talking about positive feedback earlier. Love Lost. So out of Let Me In, Shadows of the Night, and Love Lost previous releases, I've heard that constantly from people. Like after one play of the song, they're singing back, Love Lost, Love Lost. They love that part. I think the same thing is going to happen with Hungry Eyes. I think they're going to repeat that phrase over and over again because it's simple. It's 2 words. And having a lyric video will help you figure out the rest of the words that you're not repeating, but that you can sing along to as well.
Right. Right. And we go back a long way. And when I heard Let Me In, I'm going to keep coming back to that because that's by far my favorite because that was your very first one. And it's a great song. And it's one of those songs that you can enjoy in almost any environment or any profession. Maybe not proctology or gynecology, but it's definitely a great song that you can enjoy almost everywhere. And fans, forgive me. I got a sense of humor and I got to get it in there sometimes. Look at our guest. He can't even say nothing.
Nope. Keep that mouth shut right there.
See, fans, this is what I'm talking about. These are the good times in music like me and Alex are having right now. You find some music that brings people together and it just opens doors. And that's what I love about what you're doing with your music. And I can't wait to see what else you got in store for the rest of us. I know you got Hungry Eyes is on its way. Is there an EP or a full album in the near future?
Yes, sir. So 2023, first quarter of 2023, there will be an EP by me. That EP, is going to feature what I want 6 songs on. So I know I've been told you can do 4, but I want 6. And honestly, for me, I can go back and redo some of the releases that have already come out because I know so much more now. I can put more energy. I continue to develop as a singer because I've been a guitar player for most of my life, but this is the first and second time that I've been a singer fronting things. And I go back, I fix a couple of the songs and change things and increase some things and some of the old releases. But I'd like to have 3 songs that you guys have heard on there and 3 new songs, including Unchained the Night by Dokken, which was my first release about 2 years ago. And I'd love to redo that now because I've gotten so much better.
We hope so. We really hope to hear that again. Everything's got to start somewhere. And every song you've released, you keep growing and your amount of talent just keeps growing as well. So I think that plays a big factor into why your music's getting such a positive response and such a high based fan reaction.
Yeah, man.
Well, Alex, we're at a part in the show right now. We do a little something special. We call it The Floor is Yours. And today I'm really interested to see what you have to say. When we want to give you the opportunity if you want to send a special message or something that an aspiring young music artist or anybody that might be listening. If you got some words of wisdom besides live to win, what would you like to share with them?
Just do it. That's that I have this conversation, I feel like weekly with different people because they ask me a similar question to you about, you're a man of many talents. How have you done all this stuff? It's really cool that you've done this. Just do it. That's the biggest advice I can give to anybody. Don't overthink anything. Yeah, you can seek out advice from people. Yeah, you can seek out opinions. But if you want to do something, don't wait for the right way to do it because there's no right way. There's your way. And as you're doing it your way, you'll figure out what works for you. But just do it, man. That's it. Whether it's music or whatever you do, whether it's podcast or anything else, do it. And of course, live to win as you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, Alex is not a hard guy to find, fans. So I always ask my guests, Alex, if fans want to find you or they want to follow you or interact with you, what's the best way?
Twitter, Instagram, both of those. I'm very active on both of those. And the same handle is for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, which is Ultimate Thorn, all together, Ultimate Thorn. If you guys remember Ultimate Warrior, that is my second favorite wrestler. So that is why I'm Ultimate Thorn on all 3 of those platforms. And then, of course, if you can, head over to YouTube and look me up. My official YouTube handle is now Alex Thorn. There is no other. They finally gave me that. So I am an approved YouTube artist with the handle Alex Thorn. So I'm there on YouTube as well. And, if you have Spotify, look up Alex Thorn and subscribe to me there as well. I really appreciate you. But I'm not hard to find. Type me in, Alex Thorn RockStar, or any of my other things that I've done in the past. I'll pop up like this.
He's not lying about that, fans. This is one guy that's definitely viral in a different many kind of ways. Is there a merchandise site on its way?
I'm working on it. I've talked to several people. There's designs that have been submitted to me. I'm waiting. I'm really, angling for the right ones to release. Um, we got to get back to those skulls and snakes and crossbones, man. We got to get back to that. That's my thing, and I'm waiting for the right design to come up, as well as pushing the artist to do so. Because as you know, I've had designs several times before, and all the other things I've done. And this one, I want to really make it special. So yes, a Shopify store will be coming soon.
That'd be pretty cool because I think a let me in shirt would be pretty cool.
Yes, sir. And you'll be the first one to get it. I'll ship it out to you, just like this one right here.
Yeah, you rocking that shirt proud, buddy.
Yeah, with the matching bandana system, man. It don't get no cooler than this.
We've had the privilege too of having you on a lot of our music shows, and you were there with a lot of other bands as well. I'm curious because of being able to being put in that lineup. Were there other bands you heard on those shows that maybe you would like to do a duet or a crossover with somewhere in the near future, or some bands that come to mind?
So no, specifically, not name wise. I'm really bad with that. And I don't mean to insult anybody like that. Um, but I have heard some bands that you have. First of all, before I even answer that, I just want to say you're doing an amazing job with the Stoverload Music Podcast. I mean, I remember how this started, and the way it's going, and the platform that you provide for people is amazing. So thank you on behalf of not only myself, but I know a lot of musicians who are just grateful for you. But to hear myself with other artists on your playlist and on the rock blocks and all that stuff, I always seem to gravitate to the female musician. That's who I always like to collaborate with. There's a lot of male musicians, and it's a male dominated field. But there's when you get the right female, and you've had a couple female led rock bands on your shows. Every time I hear them, I'm just like, man, I'd love to work with them. That'd be great. And just like back in the day with pro wrestling, I always think visually, man, what would that rock video look like? Because the Alex Thorn character with the bandana and the leather and the fringes, it's been done, but it's not quite like I can do it. So I always gravitate to that. So I'm sorry I don't remember the names, but it's usually a female-led rock band.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, fans, as you know, all good things must come to an end. And Alex told you how to find him. And as soon as that EP drops or merchandise come out, get your hands on one. Because just like his music, the quality of his merchandise and the integrity of the man himself is no less than beyond amazing. And it's always on top notch and always perfecting every little thing he does. So on a side note, thank you, Alex, for inspiring me to be like that. But until then, Alex,
you got to put effort. You got to make sure, like I said, just do it earlier. But also, as you're doing it, you got to make sure what you're doing is satisfied. You would be happy if you saw somebody else come out with that. If it's just like throwing it out there, then it's not worth
it. Maybe one day, because I know you're a father. Maybe one day you'll get your son on a song with you. Have him do some backup vocals or something like that. Just have some fun.
Yeah, could be.
That'd be cool. Do a live remix and have him doing the background for "Let Me In."
Yeah, the wool part. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to also say, remember earlier in the interview, you had mentioned that, people like the music. Well, there's this specific person that does like Let Me In just as much as you do. The singer of Vixen loves
Wow.
it. Very similar. So hopefully in the future, I can do something with her or them, and that would be amazing. They're one of my favorite bands. And again, all of that is just because of people like you who provide us with a platform to get exposed to new audiences.
We say on the show that good music speaks for itself. And the results, the benefits and everything all comes from the good music. So I'm just that middleman, but it's you, the artist, that create the music that brings the pleasantry to the people's ears. So really, it's all you guys. I'm just that middleman providing the ground for everybody to come join on.
And we appreciate you for it.
And well, thank you. Well, fans, this is all the time we got for today, and unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. But we've hit our mark. It's been great having you back on the show, Alex. It's been a long time. But again, thank you so much for the amazing music you're giving to us for us to enjoy. We can't wait to see more music videos and to hear more from you. And fans, he told you how to find them. I highly encourage, go look him up on YouTube, type in Alex Thorn, and you will be amazed at how much turns up. Until then, fans, this is all the time we got this week. I'm your host, Mike Stover. This has been my awesome guest, Alex Thorn.
Peace.
Till then, we're out.